everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Lookback. This is where I take a look at reviews that I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago, though, once again, until September of this year, I don't have anything from 10 years ago because I was in the middle of a big move. But I take a look at reviews I did this week, 1 and 5 years ago, and tell you what I think about those games now. So let's start with the games that I reviewed last year this time. Wakanda Forever. Oh, I wanted to like this game so much. I like the Wakanda part of the Marvel Universe. It sounded good, but it was just luck. Ah, too bad. Brainwaves. This is a series of 3 games from Cosmos with this whole, like, this is why these games help you learn more and stuff. Essentially, they're all variations on memory-style games, with some pretty big-name designers involved with this. Knizia did one of them, for example. But they're all memory games. They work and they're educational and they're okay with kids. Foodies. Now, I think of the Dice Tower people, I like this one the least. I like the idea of rolling dice and getting resources, the Machi Koro style. Foodies was okay for me in that regard. I guess I found it a little bit too lucky, although I love the theme. Heads Talk, Tails Walk, another kids game where you're putting heads and tails on things. A fun game for kids. Eternal Chronicles of the Throne. This game from the folks who make Clank. I like the concept of it a lot. It's just another deck building style game and attacking and all. I just felt that the game is a little bit repetitive and it was too slow moving for me compared to other games of the same ilk. It was fine, just not amazing. Con of Cons. This is not a big game by any means. It's from Knizia, and it's kind of a take that style game from Knizia, which I thought was decent. It was entertaining, and I especially like the artwork, but don't look for anything heavy here. Stockpile Illicit Investments. This is a nice expansion for Stockpile. It's not as important, or, you know, like the first expansion for Stockpile, I'm like, you must get this. It makes the game so much better. This one adds some extra stuff, and it's fine. Brook City. I wonder if this one will stay as a 7. I love the theme. A bunch of cops going around a city. It's like every cop movie in a box. There is a lot going on in the game, though. There is a lot of rules. And the smash-up deck type stuff that they use in their games, the Sadler Brothers, it works really well. But if you ask me to explain this game to you right now, I would have a hard time. There's that much going on in it. So we'll see. Mental Blocks. Now this one's a 7, but I want to tell you this is a 7 like it's very specific circumstances. In a convention, this works well. It's a cooperative game with a possible traitor where you are building a 3D image, but each person has specific information. I like it. It's fascinating, but it's very specific as to who's going to like it and play it. Century Golem Edition, Eastern Mountains. This is part 2 for the trilogy, which is Century Spice Roads. The full trilogy is done. This is the second one from the Golem. I like this one. I don't like it as much as the first and the third editions, but I do like the Golem theme a lot, and this is very pretty. Inuit, the Snowfolk. I was really impressed with this one. I didn't know what to expect, and it's basically just drafting cards and collecting these cards, and they give you special abilities, a really cool theme. This just felt different than almost every other game I played during this time frame, and it's probably a smaller game than the big box would have you believe, but I really did enjoy it. Heist, One Team, One Mission. At Gen Con last year, everyone was talking about this one. It's just a simple cooperative game where you have this box and people are pressing buttons and doing things based on what's being said and switching things, and you all have to all work together to not make a mistake. It sounds like it would really annoy some people, but I found it to be very fun. All right, 5 years ago, I played Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? The theme of this has always bugged me because the answer to that question is yes, I'm smarter than almost every 5th grader alive. Obviously not the brilliant ones, but the point of this is, I don't know. Anyhow, this is just a trivia game. Pfft, it's garbage. Pocket Imperium. Now, oddly enough, this little game here, which is a pocket Twilight Imperium, it's very abstract, right? It's too little. I don't like it. It just felt like they took all the space and fun out of this game to shrink it down. But I saw this game at toy stores, a place like that, so it's interesting how this game has gotten out there, but I still don't like it. Small City, which is a weird name because the box is quite big. It's a puzzly city builder game, which I found to be just too much. Too many rules. A city building game, to me, should be fun and not a pile of rules. This one felt like a pile of rules. This one's weird to me, Mysterium. The weird thing is that my ranking for this was a 7. I don't remember ever giving it a 7. So I'm going to assume that's a typo. At best, I would have given it a 6, but now it's a 5. I know lots of people love Mysterium. I know I'm in a minority on this one. It's just that these games with no communication, I don't know. I feel like they're too ambiguous for me. Mysterium, the idea, the concept is interesting. I just don't really want to play it. I'd rather play games like Dixit or Pocket Detective over Mysterium. Face Chase, kids game, finding the right face. Kids will like it. Go Nuts, a rolling dice game, a push your luck style game where at different points you go nuts by rolling the dice. Nice components, again, for kids. Wrath of Dragons is from Catalyst, where you are a dragon trying to be the final winner. Yeah, I gave this one a 7. I'm dropping it to a 6 because I don't think these components have held up over time. If I reviewed it in 2020 today, I would have said the game was fine. It's an interesting game, but the components definitely could use an improvement. Maze Racers, a fun 2-player game for kids. Its concept's pretty cool. You build a maze, the other person rolls a ball through it as fast as they can, and the first person to roll it through wins. Means I made the better maze, or you're the slow roller, or some combination. It's fun, simple concept. Mafia de Cuba. This one's dropped a little for me. This is a social deduction game. I remember when I played it, I was fascinated by it. There's a cigar box, and you're putting or taking things out and passing it around a table. Cool concept. I don't know that it has a big, wide area. Like, I played Werewolf countless times. I played Resistance many times. Mafia de Cuba I played several times, but now I don't know how often I want to go back to it. We'll see how this one holds up when we get to it in the 10-year category. Survive Space Attack. This is a sequel to Survive. The Angleseas did this. They added a little bit more complexity. I like the space theme, but again, I haven't found myself going back to this one. Tumbling Dice, on the other hand, I love Tumbling Dice. It is just roll dice down. It's a mix of dexterity and luck, but it's wonderful, fantastic. I play it often. And Mission Red Planet, one of the greatest games ever designed. Wow, there's a lot of greatest games ever designed, but this one's really cool. Area Control, putting people on rockets. This was the 2nd edition that I went over. I reviewed 5 years ago. I like the 1st edition, the 2nd edition even more so. If you've never played Mission Red Planet, it's one of the few games I actually enjoy, an area control style game with up to 6 players. So that's what I reviewed 1 year and 5 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower.